Sri Sai Ram. Hearty welcome to Sri Sathya Seva Gurukulam. Free online classes in science in a very interesting chapter called Sound. We are exposed to different kinds of sound in daily life, correct? Can you list out? Yeah, chirping of birds, sound of the wind, and sound of the waves in the sea or ocean, sound of the machines, did not, sound of the loudspeakers, sound of the TV, and musical tone in your mobiles. So many sounds we are hearing in our daily life, is it not? And some sound is very interested, or you can hear the sound and we enjoy it. For example, musical instruments like flute, sitar, veena, violin, etc. We enjoy it because it is musical. But some sound we are not, accept that sound, what we call noise. For example, in a class, when everybody starts talking, when the teacher is not there, everybody starts talking each other. That is called noise. Or in a car festival, when thousands of people gather there, lot of noise is created. Or in a market, when you go for purchases, lot of noise. That is called noise. Correct? And how is sound produced? It is produced by a vibrating body. And then you may ask, how the sound is coming from the throat? That is what is called as voice box. Is it not? The rings. And this voice box, there will be variation of air column, and hence a sound is produced in the throat. And how does the sound go from one place to another? That is by means of a medium. What are the different kinds of medium you have? Solids. It may be wood, it may be metals, or it may be anything else like that. Solids, stones also. Liquids. It may be water, it may be milk or honey or whatever it is. And gases, like that of atmosphere. Is it not? So, how do you hear the sound? Sound can be heard by our ear. Every part of our body is very, very important. Even if a small, difficulty comes, means you have to go to specialist. Small problem in the eye, you go to eye specialist. Small problem in the ear, you go to ear specialist, ENT, what you call. Any problem with the throat, you go to ENT. Anything with the chest or heart, you go to cardiologist. Anything with the bones, you go to bone specialist, orthopedics. Correct? So our body is a very, very special gift by God. So in the ear you have got what is called as eardrum. Whatever sound is heard from the outside, that will pass through the outer ear. What is the shape of the outer ear? The shape is of that of a funnel. And when the sound enters the ear, it beats the eardrum. What is the eardrum made up of? It is made up of a thin membrane. When it beats, there will be vibrations. And these vibrations will go from outer ear to inner ear, and then to brain. And then the messages are heard and proper action is taken Correct? And also you have seen about what is called as amplitude, vibration, oscillation, etc. And the device is called simple pendulum. Who discovered simple pendulum? It was Galileo. So just having a thread with a metallic bob tied to a stand or to a hooks of a attached to a wall. So when you just pull it one side from the middle point, that is called as amplitude. From one extreme to another extreme, it is called vibration. Then going to one side and coming back is called as oscillation. You have got amplitude, vibration, oscillation. We already studied earlier. So one vibration is equal to two amplitudes. One oscillation is equal to two vibrations. Correct? So that is what you have seen. Also we have seen what is meant by frequency. What is frequency? Number of oscillations per second. Correct? That is called frequency. How do you measure it? You measure it by the unit called hertz. Why it is called like that? It is named after the scientist, and we denote it as Hz. Shortly we denote it as hertz, Hz. So these are some of the things we have seen in the previous class. That is how the frequency is measured. Correct? And now let us see the home assignments. The first question, fill in the blanks in the following sentence as. Sound is a form of, come on, anybody? Correct? Energy. So answer is energy. Sound helps us to know dash in the environment. Come on, answer. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Answer is changes. Got it? Third one, vibrating items produce dash. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Answer is sound. Frequency is measured in the unit called hertz. Second question, what is the function of the eardrum? And I think some of you might have written it. If you are not written, just see once. Sound vibrations make the eardrum vibrate, and the vibrations are sent to the inner ear, which then sends a signal to the brain. That is how we hear. Already we discussed about that. So what is the eardrum made up of? It's a thin membrane. So when a sound hits it, there will be vibrations. These vibrations will be shifted to the inner ear, from there to brain, and that is how the sound is understood. Okay, now coming to next question, define frequency. How is it measured? Number of oscillations per second is called frequency. It is measured in cycles per second. So that is a unit. Why it is called by hertz? It was a scientist name. What is oscillatory motion? The to and fro motion, like this, to and fro motion of the object is called as vibration. The motion is also called oscillatory motion. In daily life, where you can see that oscillatory motion? Yes, in the olden clocks, where there is a alarm sound is heard. How many you got in your home? How many you got? Yeah, there will be a pendulum. It goes from one end to another end, and exactly at the timing they hits the alarm. Okay, but nowadays it is not seen. The olden days it was there. Now coming to today's topic, identifying various types of sounds. So we hear different kinds of sound around us. we can recognize many familiar sounds without seeing objects producing them. Correct? Suppose a lion roars. Without seeing lion, we can make out it's roaring of a lion. When honey bees move, so beautiful sound comes. Something like Onkar. When it comes in a distance, slowly you'll hear. It comes near us, loudly it comes. It goes away from us, slowly it goes. Correct? So there, what are the two properties? Amplitude and frequency are two important properties of any sound which make them different. For example, if a child cries, by hearing it we can make out it is child that is crying. Or if our father or grandfather shouts, talks loudly, we can make out so and so is talking loudly. Correct? So what is the difference there? The difference is due to the frequency. So loudness of sound depends on amplitude. Okay? When the amplitude of vibration is large, the sound produced is loud. The amplitude is small, the sound produced is feeble. So loudness and feebleness depends on the amplitude. Correct? So the amplitude is more. For example, I just now told about lion roaring. The loudness is more there. And birds chirping, loudness is less, but frequency is more. So to give an example, here is a small activity. So this is a metallic tumbler, this is a metallic ball tied with a thread. This is a thread and metallic ball is there. So what you have to do is strike the metal ball gently at the bottom of the tumbler. You can also try it. Very simple experiment. So make it hit the tumbler. It should be metallic, don't forget. Okay, not plastic. Okay, a sound is heard. So when you beat, you can take say spoon also. Take a spoon and beat a say steel tumbler. It gives some sound. Now beat it loudly, beat it harshly. Again, if you bang the metal ball hardly, we hear a loud sound. So if we beat it hardly, then more sound is heard. Correct? So now to see the vibrations, what you have to do? Take a small thermocol ball. So in the place of this metallic bob, you take thermocol ball, touching the rim of the tumbler. So it bring the thermocol ball touching the rim of the tumbler. Vibrate the tumbler by striking it. See how far the ball is displaced. So when you bring it near, because of vibration, it goes away from the tumbler. Why does it do so? Because of the vibration. How is the vibration caused? Due to the metallic bob which touches the tumbler. So the displacement of the ball is a measure of the amplitude of vibration of the tumbler. So if the vibration is larger, it displaces more. This thermocol ball will go away. And if it is smaller, it will go little distance. Why thermocol you must take? Because it is very light material. It will immediately react to all the small changes in the sound. So if the sound is more, in other words vibration is more, the thermocol ball is displaced more. If the sound is less, or you say vibration is less, it displaces little. Correct? So this is a relation between that. And what do you conclude from this? Conclusion. Loudness of sound is proportional to square of the amplitude of vibration producing the sound. So, square of the amplitude means, so here when a bob is brought near the tumbler and if you check the vibration, we find that the square of the amplitude. So, loudness is proportional to, that is the symbol I use it, amplitude square. So, if the amplitude is more, loudness is more. The amplitude is less, loudness is less. That is the meaning. So, that is one conclusion. For example, the amplitude became twice, loudness increased by 4 times. If the amplitude say thrice, 3 times, then loudness is 3 square, 9 times. If the amplitude is say 10 times, then loudness will be 10 square, 100 times. That is what you see as a loudspeaker. When you speak in front of a mouthpiece in one end, it connects to a wire and goes to a loudspeaker through the amplifier. So there what happens? Whatever sound you make, it will be amplified. It will make bigger. Correct? Why do you want amplifier? Because the hall is big, number of people are more, and you cannot hear directly. So if the mic is there, by the help of the amplifier, it can be made to hear to all. Even you can use speakers. Nowadays all speakers, advanced. Correct? Earlier days there were horns. Now they are replaced by speakers. 2 speaker, 3 speaker, like that, depending on the size of the hall. So the sound or music or the talk, whatever it is done in front of the mic, is transferred through the wire to the sound box or amplifier. So there is a very interesting relation here. And one more result in activity, one more conclusion, loudness is expressed in a unit called decibels. And one interesting thing, I think most of you, some of you, not all, may be experienced with the snoring. If elderly people, especially those who are fat, maybe mother or father, if they are little fat, in the night time they snore. And even in the hostel also you find the snoring is common. If one boy or a girl snores, the whole hall will be vibrating. How do you measure it? That is measured by unit called decibels. dB. Why it is called decibels? Because it was invented by Alexander Graham Bell. You heard the name? Who was he? He was the scientist who discovered telephones. There he used speakers. So that is why the name bell comes. So decibel means 1/10 of a bell. So normal breathing is 10 decibels. Okay. And then soft whisper, talking slowly. So always have a habit of talking slowly. Short, sweet voice. That will always encourage others to hear you more. If you're talking roughly or harshly, it will not be welcomed by others. So soft whisper, 30 decibels. Normal conversation, 60 decibels. If you're talking to each other, there 60 decibels. Busy traffic, 70 decibels. In Bangalore and many of the cities, there will be too much of traffic going here and there. Lot of sound of the vehicles, of the horns and so on. That will be about 70 decibels. Factory, the machine, sound of the machines, 70 decibels. And if it is more than 70, sound over 80 decibels is very painful. It's considered as noise. For example, sirens in the factory area. It gives a very shrill noise. More than 80 that is. And our ear will not be having capacity to hear more than that capacity. So, it will be painful. That's why the word painful is used there. Okay. Now, one more interesting thing that is called shrillness or pitch. When you compare the sound of a baby with that of an adult, how many of you have baby in your house? Small kid. It's crying, it's talking, it will be very melodious. Or you can say it is welcomed by all. There is a difference in pitch of a sound. That is what you call pitch. So, the adult's pitch will be more higher than that of baby. And the frequency determines the shrillness or pitch of a sound. So, for example, whistling is there. Whistle is there, the frequency will be more. Especially PT teachers in schools, they use whistles. And there, the pitch will be more. If the frequency of vibration is higher, we say that the sound is shrill and has a higher pitch. Correct? So nowadays even the horns of the vehicle also they put musical so that others should not be disturbed. They made it in a beautiful voice. And for example, a drum you have seen. This is what is called bass drum. Well, there is one more called side drum. Like this beating is called side drum. This is bass drum. It will be heard for long distance. Here, a bass drum vibrates with a lower frequency and a lower pitch sound, but which is more, loudness will be more. So frequency less, loudness will be more. If you beat here for long distance, you can hear. And how this bass drum is made up of? That is by the help of sometimes plastic, sometimes skins of the animals are used, and there will be a stick with a bump at the end, and when you beat it, there will be what is called frequency. Here frequency is less and loudness is more. In the same cause of whistle, this is how the whistle sound is. High frequency. So when the PT sir puts a whistle, a leader of the group or a teacher puts a whistle, all the boys or girls who are distances will come near. Oh, whistle has taken place. So sir is calling or madam is calling. You make out because it has high frequency. How that sound comes? That is because of when you blow air inside that, there will be the space is very limited, so it gives a very very shrill noise, and because it has got high frequency and it shows high pitch also. That is how the shrillness or pitch in daily life. So frequency determines the pitch of a sound. Here pitch is very high, here the pitch is less, here loudness is more, here loudness is less. Correct? That's what we can see. One more example, a beautiful example. In case of a bird, A bird makes a high pitched sound, a lion makes a low pitched roar. It's called roaring of a lion. But other name for lion? Yes, king of animals. Why it is called king? Because his movements are majestic, dignified. And bird, I don't know how many have the habit of hearing the chirping of the bird, especially early morning before 6 o'clock. If you get up, you can hear that. Every bird has its own music. Peacock has some sound, is it not? Then sparrows, they have a different sound. Pigeons, all different birds have different pitch, different frequency, and they have low pitch there. Whereas lions or tigers or elephants, what do you call elephants roaring? Trumpets, correct? Trumpets. And tiger we say roar, lion also roars. And roar of a lion is very loud. The sound of the bird is quite feeble. Here frequency is more, loudness is less. Here loudness is more, frequency is less. When a lion roars at a distance from a cave, all animals become alert. They will either run away or some of them die on the way also out of fear. Is it not? Especially deers. So there is a very interesting thing which you must note. Now coming to home assignment. What is the relation between loudness and amplitude? Give an example. How is loudness expressed? What is the loudness of normal conversation? Busy traffic. What does the frequency of a sound determine? Give an example. Now let us see what Sadhguru Sri Madhusudan Sai says. His words are very interesting. Man is zero. God is a hero. This hero is right inside that zero. Only those who have realized their divinity are the real heroes. So, we have to become heroes. When you become hero, only when you realize the divinity within. And the divinity is in everyone. That's what Swami Vivekananda said. Each soul is potentially divine. So, it comes by realization, meditation. Okay? Come prepared with the answers to the home assignment. Thank you.